What's up, everybody? Conor and I just signed a new deal here after one fight deal. We're excited to have him.
Yes, guys, just signed a new multi-fight deal I'm very excited about. Our visions are aligned, our goal remains the same, to get that world title, but more importantly, give people the fights that they want, give people the mega fights. If you guys want it, you guys can get it.
We're ready to put on some big fights. Awesome. Really happy for you. Congratulations. Welcome to Zuffa Boxing, Conor Benn.
Hey guys, welcome back. Conor Benn. Conor Benn just signed a multi-fight deal with Dana White Zuffa Boxing following his fight that he just recently had with Regis at the Tyson Fury-Makhmudov fight that just recently happened. Guys, Conor Benn, the $15 million man who let Eddie Hearn walk and replaced him with Dana White and Zuffa Boxing, just signed a multi-fight deal, and it's going to change everything, guys. Boxing continues to evolve like nobody's business. I was a little stunned. I mean, I'm not so surprised, to be honest. I mean, this wasn't just a contract signing, to be frank. I mean, this could most likely be probably one of the clearest signs yet that Dana White is starting to pull some serious power in boxing. And I don't think that the promoters that have been there for as long as they have like it. They don't like a new, I mean, I don't think they mind newbies, but I don't think they like this, okay? And if all of this is true, the way fights are going to be made could look a lot different by the end of this year. And we're starting to see a little bit of a shift now, okay? So I'm excited to kind of talk about that. So welcome back, guys. Welcome to Duality 7X. I'm your host, Shiraz. In yesterday's video, I was talking about Josh Hockett's upcoming fight against Derek Lewis at the UFC Freedom 250 White House card, and about how he's coming in with no coach. Hopefully you had a chance to watch that. But at the tail end of the video, I was talking a little bit about today's video about how Conor Benn has signed a multi-fight deal with Dana White, and why this is such an interesting storyline, because here's all that happened. So officially, Conor Benn did sign off on this multi-year deal with Zuffa Boxing, and all of this happened just literally days after his fight against Regis Prograis, and it was. A lot of people were kind of speculating as to what was going to happen with Conor Benn. Was there other promoters perhaps that he was going to link up with, maybe even a reunification with Eddie Hearn? But back in February, if you remember, Conor actually walked away from Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing, right? He had a long-term relationship with Eddie Hearn. That was his one and only promoter. And then he walked away from him to sign a one-fight deal worth $15 million, an 8-figure deal with Zuffa Boxing with Dana White. That alone raised a lot of eyebrows in the industry, because a lot of people were like, is this even the right move? Like, is Conor Benn really understanding what he's doing here? Is this actually going to happen? Is this going to work? How does this happen? But now he's all in, okay? And it comes right after his fight against Regis, who he won by unanimous decision. And in a fight, look, I'm going to be honest when I say this, guys, I saw it. It wasn't a performance that wowed everybody or blew everybody away. Regis came out, and he came out battling pretty hard. There were times where I was a little concerned for Conor Benn. I thought, that's it, he's going to end up losing. And look, Regis, you have to understand, he came into that fight heavily injured. Okay, he was already injured going into that fight, and he almost got the best of Conor Benn. So yeah, again, it wasn't a blown away performance by Conor Benn. So I mean, on the surface, it feels a little strange. I mean, I'm not undermining Conor Benn's talent. I think he's absolutely incredible, probably one of the best fighters that we have right now. But I mean, when you're talking about having one of the biggest promoters in boxing now, potentially, and with a new company, and then now you've got a fight that doesn't really raise your stock. I mean, there's a lot of weird anomalies that kind of factored into all of this, right? And then the fact now that you're doubling down, that's where it gets super interesting for me, guys, because I he won. He did what he said he was going to do. At the end of the day, it's a W. At the end, it's a win, and everyone loves a win, right? And look, this isn't a move that's actually going to change the world of boxing, but it is the start of a new beginning, and it's about positioning. And this is the way I think things are going to be handled moving forward a lot more. And I mean, if you're more curious about how this plays into Conor Benn and what actually is going on here, I mean, you have to understand that Conor Benn is the mandatory challenger for the WBC welterweight title, and the expectation now is that he could fight Ryan Garcia perhaps sometime later this year, as early as of August, and that could be a massive, massive fight. And when I talk about massive, I'm talking about big money, big attention. We're talking about global outreach, okay? It's going to create a lot of buzz, all right? And and now, like, honestly, instead of going through Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing, Conor Benn is now aligning himself with Dana White and Dana White's system that involves Turkey Al Sheikh, Paramount Plus, Nick Khan, TKO Group. That raises some serious, serious question, guys. That's a lot of power backing you up. And so look, Zuffa Boxing is about to change how these big fights are going to be made. I am kind of excited and curious as to how things are going to be playing out, because you got to think, you got to give a lot of credit to Dana White, okay? Because if Dana White understands I think he understood relatively quickly what he had available to him. And if he can deliver a Ryan Garcia fight, we're not just talking about, a new promoter getting his feet wet and learning the ropes and kind of transitioning easily into his new role. We're talking about some serious, serious shift in power that's going to go into that's going to come Dana White's way. Okay. Dana is not shy to tell you how he feels about things, how he feels about other people. He's quite candid about his feelings about Eddie Hearn. He's quite candid about his feelings on Oscar De La Hoya, and boxing itself. I mean, he's always been split about the sport itself. I mean, look, now you got different promoters, you got different networks floating around, you've got a lot of different stakeholder interest, and this is why big fights take forever to happen, if they happen at all, right? And it sucks. I mean, Dana White is essentially trying to bring that centralized kind of a model, that UFC style model, into the world of boxing, where he can obviously have more control over things, cleaner negotiations, bigger fights, faster fights. And these are some of the things that he feels pretty confident is going to happen. Now, whether that actually works in boxing or not is still kind of out there. It's anyone's guess how that's going to happen. But I mean, when you think about fighters like Conor Benn, who are clearly buying into that vision, Conor Benn betted on himself, okay? And from Ben's side, all of this makes sense. He made $15 million in one fight. And probably some bonuses and other things along the way, and some sponsorship deals. I mean, look, if you think Conor Benn's not chasing belts, I mean, he said it himself. He goes, look, our goal is the same, to get a world title, but more importantly, to give people the fights that they want. And he's buying into that. Okay. And that's what I call, if you want to understand what that means, if it's not English enough, or if you don't fully understand the meaning of that, it means more fights, bigger fights, mega fights. That's what he's essentially saying. You're going to get more mega fights. So if you're into mega super fights, you're definitely at the right place, guys. All you have to do is just sit back and watch the news unfold, because I mean, this is where things are going to get even deeper. Zuffa, as we know it, Zuffa already has deals. Okay, they've already got deals with like Sky Sports in the UK. They've got deals with Paramount Plus in the US, and also potential access to Riyadh season cards through His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh. And Turki Al Sheikh has partnered up with Zuffa. Turkey's not he's not a dumb guy, man. He knows what's up. This is a powerful mix of big time promoters and networks teaming together. So Ben isn't just signing a fight deal. Okay, he's plugging into this whole supply chain or global distribution system that is going to make hand over fist money, more platforms, bigger audiences, more visibility, more leverage. Need I go on? I mean, isn't that what you want in today's fight game? Fighters are always jostling for a position. They want more leverage. How do you get leverage? I talk about this all the time, guys. You have to be able to control the narrative. And if you control the narrative and you control the outcome, you have the leverage. In today's fight game, that means you have currency. Leverage means currency. Leverage equates to currency. So Conor Benn betted on himself and he won. And now he's betting on himself again, right? And so this isn't just about Conor Benn changing promoters. Yeah, you know what? Maybe he did Eddie Hearn dirty. I don't know. I mean, that's another storyline for another day. But now we've got another fighter testing a new model in boxing. And yeah, there's less loyalty, unfortunately, to traditional promoters, guys who've been there, maybe even been there at his birth, you know? But now there's more focus on money, flexibility, and having those big fights. I mean, look, if this works, don't be surprised, guys, if more fighters start to follow this exact same model. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some news about Shakur Stevenson soon, maybe even David Benavidez. I mean, because at the end of the day, fighters like to go where the opportunity is. I believe in loyalty, and I think loyalty is great. And I mean, if it ain't broke, why fix it? But if you're not getting those big fights, you're not getting those big paydays, then this, and if there's fighters who are in that kind of category, then you know they might want to actually reach out to Dana White, and there probably are, because Dana White can actually deliver. See, here's the thing that makes Dana White so dangerous. He can actually deliver those fights. He can actually promise that he can deliver those fights to fighters, right? And this is why the deal with Conor Benn has ended up becoming one of the most stunning, interesting, and important moves in modern day boxing, right? Because not necessarily because of what it is today, but it's more about what it could potentially turn into, that everyone's talking about. And look, you guys, you have guys like Gervonta Davis, who's has an uncanny ability that he's a knockout artist. He's unbelievable. He's fantastic. He's a great fighter. You got all these guys like him who are out there, and maybe they're starting to think things through a little bit, right? Because the question you need to ask yourself is: Conor Benn actually making a smart move by aligning himself with the likes of Dana White and Zuffa Boxing, right? Or do you think that's a risky bet that leaves a risky bet for Conor and his legacy, and could actually hurt him in the long run? Could Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing be more of a long-term kind of solution, a little bit less risky, something that would have given him some more cushy, a comfortable kind of a pathway? Or is Conor Benn just looking to maximize his potential in the next couple fights, and then maybe even calling it a career, right? Maybe making a whole bunch of money and then saying, you know what, guys, I'm done. I made $15 million off my first fight. Now I made another $25, $30, $50 million on my next two fights. That's it. I think I'm done. I mean, for some people, I think that might actually work for them. So I wouldn't be surprised if more fighters actually follow suit with this model. But just remember, Dana White has done it. He's done it with the UFC for how many years? Okay? And if you're ever worried about Dana's capabilities, don't. Because he's tried, tested, and proven. He built a system that's literally turnkey. that nobody till this date has been able to reciprocate. And part of that success for Dana is really being able, over the years, being in a position to be able to understand how to navigate through such a complex labyrinth of negotiations, discussing with fighters, their teams, their camps, their managers, and all the red tape, politics, included, fighter safety, and making deals with the big networks. I mean, if you don't have a deal with the major network, then you're pretty much out to lunch. Uh, he just signed a $7.5 billion deal with Paramount Plus. All right. And there's a lot of networks waiting on the wings, like in Sky Sports and what have you, that are doing deals with Dana, but they want a more, they want to continue to build on those relationships that they have. So Dana's not hurting for that. And if he can bring that whole centralized model from the UFC to Zuffa Boxing, I think it's going to change things as we see it. I mean, just look what happened recently with Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao. The fight was on, the fight was off. Now the fight must be on, or maybe it's not. Like, it's such a shame that you see all these fights, you get people all excited and happy, and all of a sudden, there's no fight. But if you had a guy like Dana White behind the scenes, that fight would happen. There's no ifs and buts. It's going to happen. So I'm curious to see. I'm not surprised that this is happening, and I'm not wondering if things are going to go a completely different way. I think Dana White is here, and he's here to stay. I actually think Dana White is going to have more of a voice in the sport of boxing over the coming months, over the coming years. I also foresee some bigger fighters, bigger names starting to come down and knock on his door. I'm telling you, we're in April right now, guys. Mark my words, we're going to see a couple more, at least, at minimum, we're going to see some more bigger signings happening for Zuffa Boxing. And people can make fun of Zuffa. They can make fun of them fighting, fighting in small venues. And, look, it's not about the venue. It's not about butts and chairs, guys, right? It's about the marketing. It's about the hype that you're able to generate off of a fight. And just take a look at the UFC and what they've been able to do, right? From creating that hype in the first place. If they can reciprocate that to Zuffa Boxing, there's going to be a lot of promoters are going to be out of business soon in the world of boxing. Boxing as we know it is changing, and it's going to be an interesting time. So that's my story for today, guys. Absolutely blown away by this multi-year deal with Conor Benn and Zuffa, Dana White. There's going to be more news to come on that. I want to thank you guys for sticking around. Please don't forget to smash a like and subscribe, hit the notifications so you guys never miss a beat. We're just in the works of putting together a new schedule kind of format, and I'm super excited. I want to share with you guys some things that I'm planning for when it comes to this channel. I think we're going to be doing a couple live streams now every week, and I'm still working on those dates. There's still a few things that we need to do in terms of a setup and getting everything ready. But if you can start getting some live streams out there on a weekly basis, maybe we start with one, maybe we start with two. I'm still trying to figure that out. But once we get those going, it'll give you guys an opportunity to engage with me in conversation. And if you want to support our channel, you can do it by way of super chats and super stickers, and give us an opportunity to help us grow. So super excited about conversing with you guys and getting to know you guys better as well too, and hearing from you, your thoughts. And so I can't wait for that. I think that's going to be great. So that's going to be coming soon. And then, yeah, I want to do some other events and things where we can be a little bit more interactive. We're going to have some prizes, some giveaways. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait. That's coming around the corner. But in the meantime, if you want to support our channel, as I mentioned before, please smash a like and subscribe, hit the notifications so you guys never miss a beat. And please catch one of these two videos here for your viewing pleasure. They're both great, and that should tie you down at least until our next video tomorrow. So pleasure was all mine. See you guys on the flip side.